How you guys doing? Welcome back. Today is March 6th, 2022. Welcome back to the Swingcast by the Bulls. I'm Evan. Let's get into it. In this episode, I'm going to show you 8 great plays you can play this whole week or into tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday period. But 8 great stocks no one else is really talking about, and you can find some really great value. With those picks, I'm going to show you some fantastic technical analysis. We're going to talk about supports, resistances, trend lines, patterns, EMA lines, volume profile, RSI, stochastic, and the vortex indicator. All 9 of those things make up my trading plan. If you want to learn more about my structure versus strategy theory and what I talk about in my course, it's for free on YouTube. Check it out. Scroll down, click my cute little bull icon, go to my page, 25 free lessons for you. If you really enjoyed those free lessons, I have 25 extra. You have morning newsletters, nightly newsletters, the picks early, a much more detailed analysis list, all these kinds of picks, all these kinds of great things with my Patreon and my Discord. I don't charge on my Discord and my Patreon until the first of the month. Consider now until March 31st, if it's a 31st month, free until then. Come check us out. Consider it a free trial on me. But make sure it's quality. If you enjoy it, great. If not, great. But check it out in the description box down below. Lastly is, with this video, I have almost 7,700 subs. Thank you so much. I encourage you guys to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification down below. To encourage you to do so, I'm going to have some horribly awkward eye contact with you, and it's going to force you to either get 1, disgusted, or 2, super awkward. And you're going to want to scroll down off my big dumb face, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. With that being said, here's 5 seconds of terrible eye contact, so you're encouraged to scroll down and subscribe. Let's do it.
Prolonged eye contact. Prolonged eye contact. Prolonged eye contact. Prolonged eye contact.
Thanks. I don't know what the hell they're doing outside. They're being loud out there. With that being said, I have 8 great picks for you. I want to hop right into it. Before we do, as always, we got the Gremlin cam ready to go. Look at our boy. He's on patrol. He's astute because of the sounds outside. But we have our cat cam set up as well. With that being said, 8 great picks. Let's get into it. So first is Fifth Third Bank. If anyone knows my history. Hey, what's up? Fifth Third Bank is a great looking play. Fantastic. We have a lot of financials coming up here. Look it's a great channel up. Plenty of hits. Channel up is very much alive. Sure, you could probably say it's maybe a wedge up here. But overall, great higher lows, great higher highs. And again, the reversal time in this trend line is very quick. Every time you get to this trend line area, it reverses very, very quickly. Every single time. Down here, this old resistance, new support's holding up greatly. Sure, at most I'm risking 2% to make hopefully about 4, 5, 6 for a small move. Can easily see a move of almost 8%, 4-to-1 odds. The one deterrent with the technical analysis that I see, besides us having a very close resistance, which isn't bad, it's just good for goal setting, is our POC, which is the highest volume node, is gravitational. I mean, it's going to be a great support. As you can see, it's a great resistance and a great support. It's going to be gravitational. It wants to pull us down lower. So keep in mind at this point, we do in fact have a small pull down here with gravitationally, but overall it's showing some life, low risk, huge reward. Financials are on sale. Overall, I do love what I see. Let's check our indicators. When it comes to our indicators, the more you watch this show, the more you're going to understand that indicators are just going to be the icing, little strawberry, and then our technical analysis is the cake. The reason that is because with technical analysis and finding value on stocks, you'll find that indicators show you 4 things: momentum, trend, volume, and volatility. We call it the MTV system, just like the TV channel plus a V. So as we go through these indicators, the 10, 50, and 200 EMA line, the RSI, stochastic, and vortex indicator, they're just here to help give us some signals and some signs on when to enter, how to exit, when to exit, these kinds of great things. But unlike a lot of beginners, we're not going to rely on indicators, just use them as a tool. With that being said, let's check them out together, shall we? So first we can see with our 10 EMA line, it's too far away for a cross here, getting risk versus reward. I'm not going to wait 2%, open my risk up to 4%, and then having my reward being about 4 or 5% as it is. I don't want to wait for an EMA crossover. If it does take some time down here, it kind of muddles around. For some reversals, a 10 cross is fine a bit lower, right? A 50 crossover is definitely better, but overall, it's showing us that we have a great value. I emphasize that word for a beginner because there's 2 ways to enter a stock for a beginner. Value, like, hey, That's on sale. I'm going to buy it. That's value. The second being momentum. Wow, it's showing some life. Higher lows, higher highs. There's a small pullback here and there, but we've crossed an EMA line, an indicator. It has switched. Something shows us momentum. We have some momentum purchase in here, I assume, but otherwise this is a value purchase. I think we have value because of 5 things. 1, the technical analysis says we're at low value. I believe that. 2, EMA lines. All 3 are here. You know, there's no death cross yet. It's fine. You can consider this a small one. I wouldn't, but it's just it's low. It's below all 3 of them. Third is our RSI's beneath 40. Of course, under 30 is best, right? But it's getting down there. It's a great value. We then have stochastic at negative 40. One could argue, and one would argue, it's a small bullish divergence. I had this convo on Twitter this week. So when it comes to divergences, the important note is this. If the bottoms of the stochastic or RSI don't match the bottoms of the price action, it's 100% bullish. If the tops don't match, the stochastic and RSI tops don't match the price action of the tops, it's 100% bearish. So you have lower high lows, but then higher lows, implying there's a bullish divergence. See how we have a lower high and a lower high? It's not bearish. It is 100% bullish. We have that forming here. That's also nice. Bulls are bottoming out. Bears are on top. All signs point to a great value purchase here. And of course, Fifth Third Bank may drop down, become a support play a bit lower. But this trend line, this old resistance spot becoming a support overall is a great entry for a value purchase. Of course, what the macro markets do matters heavily here, but I would wait to see what we're going to have this week. But overall, it's a great value. I do love what I see. Next is FWONK, a great name, Liberty Media Corporation, another one with great higher lows and great higher highs. As of recently, we're forming a beautiful support in $57 and $56. In this area, it's bouncing great, and it's really showing some life. Earnings, overreaction, look at earnings, ran up, came down, earnings, ran up, came down, scroll back, earnings came down, ran back up. Obvious overreaction right here, and we're seeing just a tiny bit of life, not putting much into that, but we can see we have higher lows, higher highs, and a consistent support here. What's also nice again is the POC will be a strong resistance for us, right? It's going to hit here and I have a hard time breaking above it, but it is gravitational. It wants to pull us higher. And if we can see 4 or 5% in a day or two, it may not be a bad idea to, scaling out, taking some profits. But overall, it's a great uptrend. I played it before. Great support play. I do love what I see. When it comes to our indicators, I think a 10 cross once again is too far away. A 200 cross is too far away, and so is the 50. I think a 200 cross is fine because you can see when you cross over the 200, you tend to have your best days and your best times, right? You have your best run-ups then. If you want to wait, you want to say, okay, I'm going to hold for a long period of time. 2.5% for a crossover is fine. I think if you're going to swing in this or day trading it, then you're opening yourself up to 5%, 6% risk to hopefully make about 12. And then to me, that makes very little sense. So I wouldn't wait for a crossover. You can. I'd go with value again. Email line shows value. Technical analysis says at 57 and some change, we have value. RSI is bottoming out. Stochastic again is bottoming out. I don't think there's any real divergences. You could argue if we turn around sooner than later. We have one forming here. We're going to see, again, no bearish ones, lower highs, and then bulls are low, bears are high. Overall, FWONK is coming right down to where we want it. It's a great sell-off. I think if we get off another percent or two, it'll be right where we want it. Great POC pulling us higher. Support, you may see it dip down just a bit more. It's all good. Overall, it's a great value. I do love what I see. Next is FYBR, a beautiful wedge down. We actually played, as I lose my mouse like an idiot, we played it over here. They made a really nice move up. It came back down, and now we're forming a nice little wedge down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid hits. I bring this up all the time, but again, if you have a trend line from A to B, that ain't shit. Doesn't mean anything. But a trend line from A, B, C, D, E in this case is much more consistent. So we have 5 good hits. 5 good hits. POC wants to pull us higher. Our IPO price over here really showing a good resistance. Now it's becoming a great support. I think FYBR could lose 2 or 3% and you're still fine. Then again, a small move here is 2 to 1 without a breakout. But we do get a breakout. We're aiming for $37, $40 for a year-long target. So overall, a great wedge down. Wedge downs break up. Wedge ups break down. Great value. Can you play a 10 cross? I think it's too far away from me. Again, I don't want to give up almost half my profits for even a small move there. But if it does take its time down here, starts muddling around sideways, and this comes down, a 10 cross is pretty great. You cross the 10 a bunch of times, you have really good moves for day trades and short-term swings. So I think if it does kind of like do sideways action here, like let's say our candles kind of look like this, oh, doop, 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 like this, and our 10 EMA line comes down sideways like this, then you can play a 10 cross. But otherwise, I want to buy into value. Evan, how do I know that we have value? Well, we can see the RSI is low, EMA lines are all stacked up above us, right? The TA has it, stochastic is low, no divergence, it's just low. You could wait for the blue line to cross the red line for a sign of life, never a bad idea, like a MACD crossover. And then bulls are low, could be lower, implying I think we may get down 2 or 3 more percent. And then bears are high, could be higher. FYBR here has another day or two of good red to really get to where we want it. But overall, for a wedge down, I do love what I see. I would definitely watch list it. Next is KBE. This is a ETF, so what they track is on you to figure out. I know it's a banking ETF, but besides that, I want you to kind of take the control of your own investing. It's a really nice trend up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid hits. It does have what seems to be wedge up kind of vibes. So again, if we do get a nice move like $58 or $59 or even $60, I'm not going to get greedy and be like, I'm going to hold forever. There's a good chance this breaks down eventually. But overall, once again, old resistance becomes a support. Old resistance becomes a support. It is becoming a support again. POC is our strongest support spot. It's holding us pretty nicely here, right? It wants to keep us in this area. The reversal is going to take quite a few days, I think. It may take 4 or 5 days at least. So we may be seeing us going sideways for, a week, the whole week maybe. But anything underneath $53 is a really good value nonetheless. Super clear resistance right here. And overall, again, higher lows, higher highs. Really great looking play. Again, do I want it a bit lower? Yes, I do. And if I can see it at 52.75, 52.50, I'd be happy to go long right around there. When it comes to our other indicators, again, a 10 cross traditionally is really good. You get 10 cross, you get some really good plays. But we can see our best 10 crosses happen over the 50 EMA line. When you're below the 50, the 10 crosses are pretty mundane, right? They're pretty pedestrian at best. A 50 cross for this play is fantastic, but a 50 cross here is almost to our resistance 5% away. So a crossover play here makes very little sense. What I want to see is a value entry. Again, EMA line show we have value down here. TA says value just a bit lower. RSI is low, could be a bit lower. Stochastic is low, could be again a bit lower. And then the vortex is low and the bears are high, bulls are low. Fantastic. So I think KBE is getting to a good value. I think also what's great about KBE here is that if we do see like a stochastic reversal and kind of goes from south to north, or a vortex crossover or EMA crossover the 10, you have some opportunities here to wait for some momentum. But overall, for a great value purchase this week, KBE makes a lot of sense to me with where XLF is and what this index looks like. I do like it a lot. Next is MGM. I was kicking myself when I missed it down here. That reversal was very quick. It was a nice like 12% move. I missed it. It's back down. I'm pretty happy. I even added a regression line, which shows at the middle of the channel up. And we can see there's action bouncing off this as well. Resistance trend is here. Supporting trend is here. POC, again, is our strongest support area. You can see when we get near it, it kind of holds us. It's like a catcher's mitt. It wants us to come down and reverse very well here. Great trend line. Overall, MGM is probably the best technical setup today. And we can see around $40. Anywhere down in this trend line is fantastic. It does reverse very quickly, but you're going to notice a lot of the reversals here do have pullback and retests, right? Pullback, retest, pullback, retest. So I'm hoping we get a pullback once again to 40. But overall, MGM, if you goof up your entry, there's a pretty high chance if you hold for a long period of time, you're going to probably be just fine. Even if you mess up for a year or two, you're usually going to be just fine for a long-term hold. But I do love what I see overall. When it comes to our indicators, same story again. It's value. If a 10 EMA cross comes, great. But I think down here, I want to buy into value. 39 RSI, it's low. Stochastic, no divergence either way. It's fine. It's just a low value. And that blue is about to cross the red. If that blue line crosses the red, that's your buy signal. And you can cross the 10 and go long at that point. So I mean, if you do see some life, a 10 cross is fine. There's plenty of good 10 crosses across the board here, right? But I do want to see value myself, but 10 cross works. Bulls and bears are tied, showing us that we do have some life. And if the green line does cross that red line, we then again do have a good sign of momentum shifting from down to up. MGM's a massive company. They're doing fine as casinos open back up, entertainment opens back up. It's a A1 great setup. MGM, I do love what I see. I would definitely watch list it. Next is my favorite play from 2020, the good old days. RIP. Is PSNL. Back then, it was a absolute unit of an uptrend. We played this the whole way. By golly, it was great. And now we're back down here. But this is a absolute unit of a wedge down. 1, 2, 3 hits. All right, so it's not like some legendary, like a bunch of hit plays, but it's definitely there. You could also argue there's some form of channel down here as well, but I would argue it's definitely a wedge down because this move came from this swing high and this swing low. So you can see the pattern comes from the same move, making it much more valid to me. We also have a very good support here that's holding at 895. Again, if I zoom out, it is a traditionally strong support spot, right? It holds here very well. So if we get a double bottom here at 850 or so, I'm very happy. If we get a higher low, I'm very happy. I do want to see 850 before I buy in because the risk here is 4 or 5%. I don't like losing more than 3% per trade at most usually. So right here, risk a little bit less or whatever, but overall, a huge move here would be the play of the year. If we get a breakout eventually, it will make your whole entire 2022. But I think it's important to note it has not shown life in at least, let's see here, 400 to a year. It's been a downtrend for over a year now. I know Kathy Woods likes it, but everything she touches dies. So I'd be very careful of that. A 10 cross is fine, but once again, when we're below the 10, when we're below the 50, the 10 crosses are going to be minuscule, right? But when you get over the 50, that's when your 10 runs are the best. So again, a 10 cross is fine. A 50 cross is ideal. But overall, I'd buy into value. We have value. RSI is low. TA is low. Stochastic is bottoming out where it always does. Bulls and bears are tied, showing us that we do have some consolidation here. We're moving sideways. Bulls take over, breakout. If bears take over, it's going to go down further, and that's no bueno. But overall, PSNL is the smallest company on the list today. I think it's definitely like a smaller medical company. But overall, this wedge down is really getting tight. Like FYBR and it are fantastic looking wedge downs. If it does show some life or consolidate sideways, I would give it a shot. I do love what I see. Either way, I'd watch list it. Next is SF San Francisco. No, Steelif Financial Corp again. XLF stocks for in value. This is the same exact setup as many other ones, so I'm not going to harp on it. But consistent higher lows. Very strong resistance becoming a support, right? The POC is our strongest support spot. It's holding us greatly right here. Clear resistance. Overall, the only difference is this may be a broadening wedge, as you can see. And all that means is that eventually, if your pattern looks like this, eventually a new pattern is going to form. I think it's happening already as we're kind of hugging the supporting trend line much more than the resistance trend line. So I'm sure a new channel up, a new horizontal channel, a new whatever is going to form off the lower spot here. Great value. Dividend just paid out, so folks are taking their profits. Earnings overreacted. They came back down. Great value. You can risk 1 or 2% to make about 6 or 7 fairly easily. This gap wants to be filled. This gap wants to be filled. Every single gap here gets filled in this time frame, right? Every single gap gets filled. This one's going to get filled, and this one wants to be filled as sure. So SF here has some pretty high expectations. 10 cross too far away, 200 too far away, 50 too far away. Again, they're all fine. 50 cross is great, 10 cross is great, but they're all very far away. Overall, RSI it's low, stochastic gets low. I mean, if it holds, this is a big if it holds sooner than later, it's a pretty obvious bullish divergence. If it does hold, no bearish, all lower highs. And then bulls and bears are getting tight, showing that we may see a reversal sooner than later. SF here is a really good play. If it does show some life and fill some gaps, it should continue up here. I like it a lot. I think for financial plays, it makes a whole lot of sense. I would watch list it. I do love what I see. And lastly is ST, a nice tech holding company. This is our first real horizontal play of the day. I want 55. If I can get 55, I'll risk 2 or 3% with no care in the world whatsoever. So if I can see 55 bucks here, it's a pretty obvious play. It comes down here, it balances, it holds, it's bueno. It's great. The POC wants to pull us higher. Again, it's the strongest resistance. It's a double-edged sword. But if I can see 4 or 5% easily, I'll take that and then reinvest it and do it again. Clear resistance, Horizontal channel, it's fantastic. Even as recently higher lows and higher highs, showing some great life here. Again, 55 bucks, 55.20 is a great spot to buy an ST in my opinion. When it comes to our indicators, again, the 10 cross is fine. It's 3% away. I wouldn't do it, but you can. I want to buy into value. The reason I think we want to buy into value is RSI is low, stochastic is low, bulls are low, bears are high. I've said it 10 times today. It is what it is. ST's a great value purchase, a bit lower. There's no divergences really. Actually, I didn't even notice this. There are some divergences here. Those are lower. These are higher. Look at that. So even that is great. We do have some really good looking stocks here, a really good looking play here. If ST does hit $55, I'm going to buy it because that's just a great play. Low risk, high reward. Overall, I'd watch this. I do love what I see. There you guys have it. I appreciate y'all being here. Check out the Discord. Check out the Patreon. Check out my cat. Meow. All those kinds of great things. We'll see you guys next time. I was busy. I actually volunteered today. So I actually have to go get some food I'm eating all day. So see you guys later. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Go buy the Bulls. Wee!